On day 2, we'll be driving to the Gulfarium to explore there, and then we'll be driving to Niceville to have a meeting with some of Debra's high school friends and to eat supper with them. Breakfast will be hot, crispy, green donuts. Since we're heading back the way we came yesterday, we'll be entering the National Seashore again. And soon we're arriving at the Gulfarium, where we'll spend most of the morning. At the Gulfarium, we'll have several animal encounters with penguins, harbor seals, and sea lions. After those, we'll look around the rest of the aquarium. We start off looking around some before our first encounter. First, we'll look at the harbor seals. They seem to love swimming upside down. And now it's time for our encounters. Our first encounters will be with penguins. Rose, an immature female, and of course Debra starts off touching, but soon she has her photographer touching also. And her trainer will tell us all about Rose and everything you might want to know about penguins. And then obviously feeding is included, and Rose wanted her picture made with Debra the Explorer. Next, we'll encounter South, a mature male penguin, and feeding again has to be included. And South wanted his picture made with Debra the Explorer also. And always, there's touching. Our next encounter will be with Zoe, a mature female harbor seal. Her trainer will tell us all about how to train Zoe, and will even get to feed her some. And of course, you know Debra the Explorer will be touching, and soon her photographer is also. Zoe is a true seal. She has no external ear flaps, and she can't turn her rear flippers around and walk on the ground like a sea lion can, which will be seen later. We even get to teach Zoe how to spin and how to roll over. And of course, Zoe wanted her picture made with Debra the Explorer. Our next encounter is with Maddie, an immature California sea lion. Her trainer taught us all about her. She's a sea lion. Notice the external ear flap and how she rotates her rear flippers around so she can walk on land. We got to help with her training, and obviously feeding was included. Maddie definitely wanted a picture with Debra the Explorer, and touching was included. All right. Next we encountered Rook, an older male sea lion. Obviously feeding was included. And touching as soon as Debra could. Rook wanted his picture made with Debra the Explorer. And she even let her photographer get in on having his picture made with Rook too. Our last encounter will be with Tina, a mature female sea lion, and she wanted her picture made with Debra and blew a raspberry while it was being done. She'll be one of the sea lions in the show we'll be watching in just a little bit. After a little bit of feeding, it's time to go exploring the rest of the aquarium. They rescue various injured animals that need to be rehabilitated, and some they have cannot be released because they can't survive in the wild, like these white pelicans and some brown pelicans also. And now it's time for the sea lion show so we can see what they're capable of. Tina from our encounter will be part of that show, and so will Taylor, an adult male sea lion. Let's sit back and watch what they do. After the show, it's time to explore the rest of the aquarium that we haven't looked at yet. This is a very young American crocodile. Notice the sharp end of his snout as opposed to the rounded end of an alligator. We'll be seeing one of these in the wild as we go to the Everglades. And this is an American alligator. Notice the rounded snout. This is an albino, and they also have some immatures also. And Debra found a gigantic frog there, but it didn't attack her. Debra loved exploring and looking at all the fish in the reef tank, and now it's time for the dolphin show. Let's sit back and watch their acrobatics. After the show, we go down and look at the windows underneath the water and watch the dolphins playing with some toys. And then it's time to head to Niceville for our meeting with Debra's high school friends. Along the way, since we have a lot of time on our hands, we take an unplanned side trip to the Air Force Armament Museum. We'll drive around the outside looking at the various planes and helicopters and bombs, but we won't go inside the building itself. Then it's time to head on towards Niceville. Soon we're driving into the city and looking around some, but since we're so early, we go start exploring the area around Niceville. We head west and soon we come to the Eglin Air Force Base gate. We can't go through because we're not Air Force. So we turn eastward and soon we're driving along the Chattahoochee Bay, the northern shore. Across the bay are the peninsulas that Destin and Panama City are on. We pull into a small park and look across the bay some, and over there those tall buildings are hotels, and Destin on the peninsula it is on the other side of the bay. And then it's time to head on to our supper meeting with Debra's friends from high school at Niceville. We'll be eating at the Sano's Garlic Grill for our meeting. It'll be Debra and Alan Deering, Mamie Lunsford, David and Lisa Underwood, and John and Janie Nealon. The females are all friends from high school. After a long talk and eating, it's time to head back. Night has fallen, so we're driving in the dark. And we arrive at our hotel, bringing to an end day 2.